Hey everyone, welcome to this breakdown slash overview of my hanger on Exogol video. I'm really excited to show you all the cool things that are involved with this mock and tell you all the cool things about making this mock. So I'm going to bring the camera closer obviously so you can see all that's going on. Before I take the ship and the roof out, I just want to talk about the ship a little bit really quick. Let me turn on one of my lights again. These are very helpful for seeing inside the hangar. I'll put a link in the description for these lights really quick. They have 3 filters. You can put in a blue and an orange filter, and obviously that changes the color of the light, but they're really nice for stop motion movies and displaying mocks. The ship is new, Rise of Skywalker release. It's like $70, and yeah, it's a great set. I'm not planning to do much more with it than this mock, so this was a perfect opportunity to use it. And now I'm just going to quickly remove it and the entire roof. So I'm going to set this down for a minute. And since we never really got to take the roof off on my main video, I thought now would be a good time to do that. To fix this piece. Perfect. So as you can see, I used a bunch of these kinds of pieces to hang all my little extra detail stuff. And I don't know, I think they all look cool. I built each one unique. I was planning to make them all the same, but then I realized it looks a lot cooler when each individual one is unique. So if you're building something and you're trying to find something to do for wall decal, I definitely just make each little bit unique because I think it looks way cooler this way. Some of my favorite parts are these 2 pillars, which are the only 2 things that are exactly the same. And then this cool middle part, I wanted the directly inside part of the hangar to be really cool. And I think that worked out pretty well. The only things that didn't quite work with the hangar, which I covered up kind of on purpose with this thing, is these little corner parts that I just either didn't do right or couldn't find the right piece. There's a little hole there, so I could have covered up with that and with these guys, which are just the Lego die but with the red and the gray flat pieces. And as for the walls, they're just held on, and I'll take it off here in a second. I'm going to set this down again so I don't break too much. The wall is supposed to all be one piece, but I'll just take off this section. That worked out well. And what I tried to do is I tried to hold it down from the bottom and the top, so when it moves, the whole thing just doesn't jiggle from the top or the bottom. Like, see, this part is on really well the way I want it to, so when I move it, it doesn't move up or down because it's attached both ways. And when building this mock, I used these pieces for the red that you see right there. And when I started to run out, I just started using pieces like this and stuff like that. But overall, it turned out really well. I started to run out of gray pieces, so I did kind of use pieces like this and like that. But since I was covering it up with a wall, it didn't really matter at all. And I think it worked out really well for 2 reasons. One, it covered up all of this, and I think it looks really cool, and it looks more like Exogol that way with the black. And as for the other sides, they're all basically the same idea. Some of them didn't stick as well as others, so when I move it around, like this one isn't attached on the bottom, it came undone. I couldn't fix it or else the whole wall would break, but that's fine. And then I use these guys to hold the roof in place. Since the roof is so big, it doesn't fit perfectly, but for the purpose of the mock, I think it worked perfectly fine. The flooring is only 1 layer, except for these guys right here. But I just did a gray layer on top and then added something a little bit different here. I wanted to try to make it unique. And then these guys. And then I have my little cart, so I'll just move out of the way. And the minifigures, if you saw my AliExpress haul video, these were like 70 cents each. That's why they look a little bit off, but for getting, let's see, I can count 7 minifigures for like $7, that seems like a really good deal to me. And I didn't buy these guys at the time for this mock. I didn't know this mock was going to happen until a couple weeks later, so it just worked out well that I had these guys lying around and I could use them for this. And really quickly, I'm going to remove this and put in the roof piece to kind of show you what that looks like, so I'll be right back. So as you can see for the roof, there's no really good way to do this because the ship's attached. So I'm going to really quickly take the ship off. The only way to do that is to just break these little guys right here. it took a really long time to find something that would hold the weight of the ship, because it's a decently large set, so it was pretty difficult. If you can see, I leaned it up here. I used these things to hold them down, and these things are pretty strong, and I had enough of them to make them, they're both the same length, and they just hold the ship like so. And I had to tip the ship down to keep it from breaking, and it just wouldn't stay that way, but I think they look really cool, and they also did their job really well, so that was the most important things to me. Moving on to the top of this, one great thing about ordering from AliExpress, which I first thought was a problem, is you get one of these for every minifigure you buy. And I've never done a video about it, but I have 100 super battle droids and 100 normal battle droids, and so as you can imagine, I get a lot of these. And unfortunately, since they're fake Chinese Legos, they don't stick quite as well as I'd like. See, this is kind of bumpy, but I think it serves its purpose, and it looks cooler that way with the smooth and then the bumpy. This part up here was just to kind of show that it's not all natural. It's kind of like a communications center thing. One of these I fell off, but no, it's totally fine. And then I wish I had looked around more for more lightning. I tried to make it look like the little lightning flashes that were happening on Exogol, but I only found 2 of them, so it doesn't quite look the way I wanted it to. That's one thing I'd fix if I was to remake the video, which would take a very long time. And that mostly covers most of this mock. Again, with the ship, pretty heavy, cool features. I didn't put any of the guys in there because I didn't have enough, but yeah, whatever. The red on the wings looks really nice, and altogether it kind of, this ship was how I decided to get the base colors from the mock. So the main colors were gray and red because that's what I had the most of, and then I threw in the black for the Exogold look. And overall, I think it turned out well. The mock is one of my favorites that I've ever done. And just one more overview without the roof on. This thing is massive. I'm sure it's a few thousand pieces. Not a ton, surprisingly, since most of these, the walls are just like bigger 2x6 pieces, and then in between the 1x2s, or yeah, 1x2s. So not a ton of pieces. The most pieces is probably coming from these things up top, but you know, whatever. It turned out really nice. If you think I should do more mocks like this, or make the video in that kind of style, let me know. And yes, I'll put a link in the description for these lights. They come in a pack of 4, I believe, and they're really nice. And yeah, this mock is really great. Thank you for your support and watching all my videos. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.